Footsteps on the roof. There's a twinkle in my eye. Footsteps on the roof. I do hear footsteps on the roof because it is that season.
Mm-hmm.
The season where the twinkles come out of the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And they sit up your butt.
I don't know about all that.
I think your butt sparkles, baby.
I'm just going to take a sip of this drink.
Oh, what are you drinking today?
I've got a little rum chata and a lot of eggnog with a lot of nutmeg.
Interesting. We both chose rum today, which is kind of fun. Well, you chose rum chata, but yeah, I'm actually drinking a cinnamon butter rum over here.
Oof, that sounds good.
I mean, to be honest, it sounds like you're baking cookies more than you're drinking. Because seriously, butter, castor sugar, cinnamon stick, and spiced rum.
Nice.
So, like I said, I feel like we're baking cookies, not getting drunk.
It makes me think of butterbeer.
I think that's what it's supposed to sound like.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure when I was looking up these drinks online, that is actually the thing that they
kept coming up with butterbeer.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously popular.
For all you Hogwarts people out there.
Yep. Ravenclaw, that's all I'm saying.
It is, you do have a fun little get-go that you got over there.
Oh, this old thing.
I thought the reindeer humping one was funny, but, you know, you found one with them 69ing, which is pretty amazing.
I mean, I know where to look.
Where did you look to find a reindeer?
I'll tell you
69ing. Show me later. You like what I got on there?
I do. I want to cuddle you. You got the whole teddy bear thing going on. You got the furry arms and the furry ears, and you got a little scary teeth claw thing going on there.
So what she's saying, folks,
works.
I'm just sitting here in the buff.
No.
I'm not wearing anything at all.
I did think of that.
So, but if you don't know, that signifies the beginning of Year-Round Tree.
Indeed.
Where Liz and I talk about Christmas movies.
Yeah, so grab yourself, something warm and cozy. Be it a drink, be it a blanket.
Hang out by the fire just like we are.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about a new...
It is new.
A new Christmas movie this time.
Look, they had all those big signs for it when we were at Disney.
Yeah, and you couldn't ignore it because it's Bill flippin' Hader.
Yeah.
And Anna Kendrick.
It's not that I want to bang the shit out of Anna Kendrick at all.
Yes, I was letting you chime in with that.
I think she's I don't know, she's annoying, but I would like to do things to her.
Oh, well. I'm sure she'll take that as a compliment.
She won't, but I don't know that it needed to be complimentary. It was going to be ugly and over very quickly.
I see.
So, anyways, the movie is Noelle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to get it right out the fucking gate. Because I think you see it right from the gate. That first scene.
Yeah.
This is going to be feminist propaganda.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a thing that's happening a lot, especially
it's
with
current year. You can't not
particular.
You can't
studio.
can't have it not be feminist propaganda. Yeah. So, but it does star Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader.
Yes,
and it actually was a good movie despite itself. Like as much as it tried to just be, crappy shill media movie, it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
So let's kind of start out here. It opens up with a scene where a girl catches Santa. And then you find out it's her dad.
Right.
Ooh.
So this is the pretend catching Santa.
Yeah. And then there's like a musical reference to Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
Because, of course, that she can do that.
Because it's, Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
And so the premise that they start out with is that you see this young kid who is Nick Kringle, who will be the 23rd Santa.
No pressure.
Yeah. And then, her dad dies. So,
I mean, it's a Disney movie, so somebody had to...
Yeah, dad has to die. Starts out with them as kids, and then, they're all, real quickly, they're adults. Because you got to get Bill Hader in the movie as quickly as possible. I feel like we didn't get enough of him, sadly.
Yeah.
So this is so much fun trying to read my notes that I wrote a month ago. Yeah. Okay. So as with everything, this whole thing is an excuse for Anna Kendrick to sing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
It's like it written into her contracts now, I think, ever since that acapella movie.
Yeah. So how about this? What were your thoughts on the CGI like reindeer?
I mean, they were weird,
No,
but
no,
I
no.
didn't pay that much.
Not all of them. The one in particular.
Oh.
The little puppy one that she has like following her around.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I never get into like weird little floppy critters in movies. They're all kind of annoying to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it was very Uncanny Valley to me.
It was very Uncanny Valley, and it was just like, why do we even need this thing so she can have a goofy little, like, are we trying to make her a Disney princess? Is that the thing? Santa's the king of the North Pole. She's a Disney princess, so she needs a goofy little
Anna Kendrick can
pet
be the princess
sidekick
of whatever.
thingy. Yeah,
Hopefully
no.
my penis. Speaking of my penis,
Okay.
Shirley MacLaine is super old and did nothing for it.
Noted.
Just, throw it with it.
Throwing it out there.
So there was a really interesting rendition of This Christmas that kind of pops up too.
Okay.
You clearly don't remember it at all.
I don't. Wait, no, I do actually. It was cool. This is the setting the scene sort of scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get some This Christmas.
Yeah. Why not?
So also let's add to the cast Billy Eichner, who plays Bill Hader and Anna Kendrick's cousin.
Oh, Cousin Gabe.
Yeah, Cousin Gabe, who's the tech elf.
Yeah, it's a weird angle they take of this thing because he goes very.
No, he's a technocrat. He does what all technocrats do. It's kind of funny. We get a little bit of politics in this movie too.
Yeah.
So essentially, we're gonna find out and tell you here in a little bit. The whole premise of the movie is that Bill Hader doesn't have the holiday spirit.
Nick just doesn't feel.
Yeah,
he
it's
doesn't
not-
have the Santa stuff.
Yeah, it's not his thing.
He doesn't have the right stuff.
And so Noelle, Kendrick's character, just says, hey, go take a holiday. Take a weekend off,
Right.
Come back refreshed and ready to be Santa.
Right.
And then he just sends back a magazine and never comes back.
Right.
It turns out he wanted to be a yoga instructor in Arizona.
Right.
But now everyone's pissed off at Anna, saying she's ruined Christmas by getting rid of Santa Claus. Now, if you've been paying attention to the movie, the very first scene, they show off the fact that she has whatever, like, the Santa-ing gift is.
Right.
Like, she has the Christmas spirit.
They show you like a bajillion times throughout the movie. She's just like, oh, I'm better at doing this than the guy, and I'm better doing that than the guy.
Yeah, they really.
She's clearly like chosen one lights beaming down on her head. But, of course, she's a girl.
Yeah.
And obviously
They don't really
people
beat
can't
that up
deal with
yet.
that.
Like they wait to introduce the actual premise. Like they do. They actually do it like you should do it in a movie. They set it up and have things happen.
They do. They have like a whole story that happens.
Yeah.
Which ends up being a fish out of the water story because she has to go find Nick now.
Yeah, and try and like, I don't know, bang the dude who's not the guy from Drive Me Crazy.
Right. But sort of kind of looks like the guy from Drive Me Crazy.
It looks like a more ethnic version of him. This is the way I described it to you when we were watching the movie. Because I thought, but back to Billy Eichner's character. So he plays the whole thing. It sets up this whole. He wants to bring the Santa-ing thing into the 21st century and try and have technology and try and solve the problems with modern. Well, we've learned all this stuff, and let's take all of that and fix the problem.
So an online delivery platform and drones. And
yes, exactly.
The whole 9 yards.
And I don't ever think he does it maliciously.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just thinks he knows better than everyone else how to do it. And because he's the oldest man in the Claus line.
Right.
He kind of doesn't want the job, but he has to take it, kind of deal.
Yeah, and they make him a character with like very limited social skills. So he's just kind of like, these are my ideas. This is what we're gonna do. I'm the guy in charge, and I'm not gonna listen to anybody because that would require effort.
So I just want to point out there's a joke in this movie. That's how I found out Jennifer Aniston is hot.
Okay.
I just remember that line happening, and I'm like,
because it's hilarious. Oh yeah, they were talking about why she loves magazines, because she always kind of had a thing for exploring the outside world, even though she never left the North Pole. She just did it through magazines.
Yeah. So, anyways, we said it. Santa doesn't come back from vacation.
Right.
And, so then there's a big court thing, and everyone there's a scene where, she was using her nepotism as, like, Santa's daughter to get, like, a significant discount at stores, and, like, people are all pissed off at her, and they're like, "Meh," and they don't give her discount, and...
Yeah, just weird.
Yeah, they, like, raise prices on her, like, get the hell out of our village, you evil person who chased away Santa.
Right.
But when they're having this court proceeding to find out who the new Santa is going to be, one of the things I thought was fun is they're using a candy cane gavel.
Which was pretty fun. Yeah, I could dig that.
Now, immediately, this is the first place that you get that they're actually going to just by the politics of the way it happens, you can tell that the whole movie is going to be centered around you don't overlook women.
Right.
That's just how the whole court thing is set up.
Yeah.
Let's just say it, the North Pole sucks. They have shitty politics, much like everywhere else.
Yeah.
I think I have on here a note that says, Phoenix sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I agree. Phoenix does sound horrible. Whoever in the movie said that, which I assume was Noelle.
Probably. But she goes there anyway, trying to find her brother. And holy product placement, Batman. There's like, she ends up in a shopping center, and like just all the logos are front and center. So I'm hoping they got paid pretty well for all that.
I'm sure they did. It is Disney. Well, it's such funny. I mean, I will give them, like, it looked like it was a very efficiently made movie.
Yeah.
Like, because once you're outside of the North Pole, it gets pretty concise in what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, the shots are all in pretty similar places. Like, yeah.
Set the scene and then take you where you need to go, which is a shopping center.
Oh, there makes a comment here, and I don't know how this is fucking possible. So she's like, there's no alcohol in the North Pole. Did you catch that?
Yeah. Why is that? Why does that seem impossible?
How the fuck are you staying warm without alcohol?
Well, I feel like the warmth one gets from alcohol. That warming feeling is technically an illusion, but I see your point.
So, as all this is going on, she's down in Phoenix trying to find her brother Santa, and Gabe is, continuing on his trajectory of technologizing the...
Right.
It's a terrible fake word we use there, technologizing.
Pretty much.
All right.
Do you think that's like a jab at the modern technology? The Amazons, the online delivery.
I think that's their intention. I'm never going to side with them on that. They're stupid.
It's really silly,
Like,
and I feel like
there's plenty of reasons to dislike
Jeff.
There's plenty of reasons to dislike Jeff Bezos, most of which involve him working with the federal government. But
yeah, well,
what are you gonna do though? So, eventually they open up this. She meets there and she goes looking for brothers. So she stumbles across a private eye named Peter.
Yeah, and the random Shirley MacLaine's character, who's just her elf nanny chaperone lady person, ends up at the mall with the reindeer, who are apparently just bringing in customers, because that's a thing that would happen. And so
you have real reindeer in the middle of your mall.
Right. So they can get paid for the reindeer just being there. And she can go hire a private eye, apparently.
Oh, so they keep making jokes about iPads.
Yes, because everyone wants an iPad. Tell me that's not a product
Yeah.
placement.
No. Well, but it is also kind of a cultural thing. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine an iPad is on everyone's Christmas list.
Yeah, probably, pretty much.
It has become kind of an ubiquitous thing culturally.
Yeah.
So, there's that. Yeah. So I take a note that he's teaching Christmas yoga
Yeah.
in Phoenix. Is that what he's
Whatever.
doing?
I don't know. I feel like just becoming a yoga instructor is also kind of a meme now.
I mean, probably. And Bill Hader as a yoga instructor is also hilarious.
Yes, this is true.
And so just in case you didn't know, folks, that reindeer, the lovable little CGI reindeer snow cone, just randomly shows up now in Phoenix. Apparently, he followed the sleigh down, and it took him a little bit longer because he's little.
Of course he did.
I'm not saying they're setting up for a Rudolph moment, but
Right.
they're probably setting up for a Rudolph moment.
Okay.
So we have a Merry Christmas Baby.
Nice. Yeah.
Is that involved with like the whole romance they're trying to set up between the pet store guy and the lady who runs the mall?
I think so. See, they lean so hard into that while paying so little attention to actually building those characters. Whereas, like, the characters that we have fleshed out, they don't want to make them romantic because that would be like undercutting the whole.
Yeah, but they do. Like,
thing.
they do make it romantic. They set the whole thing up there.
They just don't pull the trigger on it, though.
Yeah.
So maybe they're saving that for a sequel.
It's definitely going to be the sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their moment in the, like, later on.
Right.
After she becomes Santa. Oh, wait, did I leave that out?
Big shock, guys. Big shock. Spoilers.
So, why did they refer to Santa as a drug dealer? Or, like, was there a drug dealer who was Santa?
Yeah, you might have lost me on that one. I do not remember that part of the film.
It was funny. It was worth writing down, apparently.
Apparently.
So it's right about this time we finally see Ron Funches break out because he's one of the elves, right?
Yes.
In the choir.
Yes, there's like an elf chorus that just you hear throughout the film, and then finally you get some Funches.
And I was really excited about Ron Funches being in the movie. He's never in things as much as I want him to be.
No.
Unless this is a voice actor. I like Ron Funches.
Yeah. He does a lot of voice acting, though. That man gets work.
He does get work. So
the PI, his son, apparently wants to be a cook, which of course Noelle knows because she knows what everybody wants for Christmas.
Yes, she can just look in people's eyes and see what they want for Christmas, and yeah.
So she has to kind of help this single father. They never really... Do they ever flesh out why he's a single father? Or is that just like...
Yeah, him and Mom don't get along anymore.
Plot armor?
It's literally just him and Mom don't get along anymore.
Okay.
And like, that's part of the whole point is like, what the kid wants for Christmas is
right. To have his whole family together.
Have his whole family together.
Right.
And Dad says, I don't think it's in the cards.
Right.
He thinks it's going to be awkward being with Mom.
Right.
So, who is it that get? I have written on here great speech. I wish this movie came out 15 years ago, or 10 years or 15 years in the future.
Well, I mean, they do finally get back to the North Pole without Nick because he doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
Or no? Do they eventually bring him back? Because I feel like there's a
no. Eventually there's
a Hail Mary moment in there.
Yeah. Well, she tries to force Nick at some point to be Santa and like makes kids sit down on his lap and
right.
And you'll get it. It'll just kick in and it never does. He's fucking terrible. He doesn't want to be Santa.
And she's just side seat driving over there.
Yeah, and she's like she's doing all of the things that he's supposed to be doing. And so eventually it clicks in his head. I know what I need to do.
Right.
And so he agrees to go back to the North Pole and does the switcheroo.
Right.
And like gets up there and his speech is about how Anna or Noelle is supposed to be Santa.
Right. And they like we were saying, they do that whole thing, but they do kind of make it as a, oh, we never thought of it that way sort of thing, as opposed to like, we're the patriarchy and we're trying to keep you down.
Yeah, and honestly, like, had the movie come out in a different time, I probably wouldn't have cared. I would have been like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, why couldn't a lady be Santa? But because of, like, the times that we're in, I just feel as though we're so inundated at all times with, like, all of this baloney or malarkey that...
Like, they don't have to say it because it's already out there, kind of.
Well, yeah, it's just, it's beating me in the head, and this just feels like another beating me in the head moment.
Yeah.
So after his wonderful speech, there is another iPad joke.
Of course.
Yeah, because 3 times, rule of threes. You always got to get them in there 3.
And then, of course, Noelle has to make her run as the new Santa, the first run with a lady Santa. And will people accept it?
Yeah, because that's that first. She's afraid that she's gonna get to that first house, and the first kid's gonna look at her and go, "You're not Santa."
Yeah.
And perhaps there's a little of that, but clearly, the whole thing is no, I accept you for being Santa because I.
I mean, yeah, it's weird to me that they feel like she would need to be validated as Santa anyway, because you're magically coming into people's houses, magically bringing them exactly what they want. How would that not make you Santa? That's just bizarre to me.
I mean, I'm way more open to an Anna Kendrick coming down my chimney than a fat white man.
There's always that.
So, in this whole thing, they have to set up the snow cone Rudolph moment.
Of course they do.
Because she needs to have her reindeer leading the charge, and he takes charge of all the other reindeer, shows them how it's done, and like they had to learn to respect him or some shit.
I don't know. It's bizarre, and it's an annoying little Ewok reindeer thing, but whatever. It was short.
Yeah. So we get back, and she goes, delivers all the presents, and it's all good. So Peter is like been super pissed off because he feels like he's been lied to, because like, oh, how did you told my son that we would have Christmas with mom and dad, and that's not going to happen. And coincidentally, it happens.
Yeah, it does. It does.
She makes it happen. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much that's I care to talk about. There's an original song. Oh, so while she's doing the whole like Christmas and like going down chimneys thing, they do the Jew joke.
Right. Just pops in.
Yeah. Oh, accidentally going down the Jewish chimney.
Right.
But they don't offer her like matzah.
I know.
Like they do
I know. Fred Claus totally did it better.
Yeah. So there's an original song, and there's another original song. They end with a bunch of original songs, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, sure.
But they hit the iPad joke a 4th time.
Yeah.
And that, like, really, really upsets me that they do that, because it's like jokes in 3s, not 4s.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating to me.
Now it's just overkill. But it wasn't a bad movie.
No.
I'd watch it again. I don't know if it would be on my every year list, but I'd definitely watch it again.
I mean, I'm going to tell you now, I'm not going to complain about a little
Angie. She wears a lot of like tiny little fluffy elf skirts, that's for sure.
She does.
Yeah.
She looks good in a skirt.
She does. She looks good in general.
She's got those tiny little legs.
Sure.
Just kind of like wrap her around things like a bow.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing with it.
Okay.
So, anyways, yeah. I think it was a good movie, like I said, but the politics, like...
Yeah, they were definitely there.
It was a little frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Just want folks. Christmas in my Christmas.
Yeah. All right, folks. This has been episode number 10 of Tree, kicking off this season.